Konnichiwa guys, my name is Rohit Shiv Prasad and I'm the founder of RSP in Japan. Thank you for your feedback guys. बहुत अच्छे. Actually, at present or recently I have been trying to create new content, new type of content, new type of information. Maybe it's fun. So just bear with the content, but yes, your feedback is great and it helps me to improve my content. So thank you. Let's get back to it. Information. Today's video is going to be about whether you should actually learn from a Japanese native teacher or not. And let me know in the comments below whether you are actually learning from a Japanese native teacher and if it really helps you, how it helps you. Watch the video till the end to understand everything about it. Let's go. As I told you, this video, should we really learn Japanese or do we really need Japanese native teachers? And I'm gonna share some very little secrets with you that you're gonna find a bit upsetting. Of course, they are. So let's get to it. My opinion is that you should learn very basic levels like N5 and N4 from a Indian teacher. And I would suggest that if you are in India, just go for Indian teachers who are teaching Japanese. And I'll give you reasons for that. I'll give you very good reasons for that. By the end of the video, you will never say that, "Bhai, मेरे को Japanese native teacher से Japanese पढ़ना है." At the end of this video, this is completely gonna change. But anyhow, let's begin. So the first reason why I say you should not go for Japanese teachers is because of the license. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah, license. Japanese native people here in Japan need a license to teach Japanese to foreign students here in Japan. Yes, that's true. And that is happening. Which means if I was a Japanese national, I would require a license. Which means I had to go through a course. I had to go through a teaching method. I have to get training and then I get the license. That's how it works. But think about this, the teachers there in India, the native teachers there in India do not have the license. Of course, the Indian teachers don't have it too, but yes, in India there is no such requirement. Of course, they are Japanese native teachers and they are fluent in Japanese, of course, that is obvious. But yes, I'm just telling you, this is one reason. The second reason is English, guys. English, or should I say English, Japangurishu. Yes, English. Yeah, see, you have to get this right. Japanese people are not very fluent with English, and the people who are not very great at it. They can speak fluently, but they don't understand English that well. If you want to check that, if you have a Japanese native teacher, of course, go to them and crack a joke in English. Just see if they actually get it. It's just to check whether your Japanese native teacher is fluent in English or they really understand English. And why do I say this? It's because, see, they are teaching you Japanese in English. First of all, the grammar pattern is completely different. They don't teach you in Hindi, that's very obvious, of course, I know. But if they're teaching in Hindi, then that's great. But yes, if they're teaching you Japanese in English, you have to first go from Japanese to English, English to Hindi, and the grammar is completely different. You can watch the other videos where I have talked about this, but yes, not a good idea to learn Japanese in English. I simply mean that let's just say you come up with a good doubt and the doubt cannot be cleared in English. And somehow the teacher needs to go through Hindi, or somehow the teacher is not able to explain it or just uses the bookish language. Not cool, not cool. So, just know that if you're learning Japanese from an Indian teacher, you're gonna understand the concepts very well. And that is the sole purpose why you need to learn Japanese from Indian teachers or Hindi speakers or English speakers, because you will understand the very fundamentals of Japanese from the very beginning. And that's important. N5 and N4. After that, you can choose to do whatever you want. Then we come to the understanding of Hindi. It's because, see, Hindi is very, it's us. if someone talks to us in Hindi, it's familiar. That's why when I teach Japanese to my students, I make sure the difficult concepts I'm talking in Hindi, or I'm teaching in Hindi, or they are relating it in Hindi, because that's easy. But Japanese native teachers are not able to do that, and that it's not, it doesn't create a barrier, but it's difficult. It becomes difficult. The clearer or the better the fundamentals are, it's easy. The fourth reason is that the Japanese people will teach Japanese in a Japanese way, not an Indian way. I'll explain. A complicated sentence, calm. But yes, Japanese people will tend to teach you the way that they were taught. Slowly. I have experienced this. Actually, what happened when I was learning Japanese in India, 2 months, and I learned Japanese, but I'm damn sure that I wouldn't be able to clear even N5 with that education. 2 months. Japanese native teachers. And the next, I think 4 months or 3 months, Indian teacher, and I cracked N4 at the end of that. So you see the difference. Like, it's slow. For Japanese people, it's slow. Indian people, we learn a lot. We do a lot. We can do a lot. So that's the Indian way. If you are learning from a Japanese native teacher, then they have a Japanese way of teaching. Some people like it, some don't. I don't. But I prefer the Indian speed, because the teacher just tells you, ye karke lao, wo karke lao, ye homework karo, wo homework karo. Everything is just homework, and then ye karo, wo karo, aise padho. Ye nahi aata hai to ye karo, wo nahi aata hai to. That is what you're missing, dude. But yes, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this to tell you that you should not go for a Japanese native teacher. You should go for that, because it will help you in certain ways. I just believe that you should learn N5 and N4 from an Indian teacher, someone from your home country itself, because that's going to give you a kickstart. After that, you can switch, or I would just suggest don't switch. But anyways, so N3 and N4 from them. There are benefits also when you're learning from a Japanese native teacher. You can practice your speaking, but yes, you're not gonna have a huge advantage. You're not gonna have a good advantage, because I have been there. I was an introvert. I am an introvert, so I was not speaking that much, so that didn't help me at all. So if you're thinking that just because you're learning from a Japanese native teacher, it gives you an upper hand, eventually JLPT ही माई बाप है. अगर तुम्हारे पास JLPT है तो तुम्हें जापानीज आती है, नहीं है तो नहीं आती है. तो उसके अलावा it's just all normal. So you can go with my suggestions, and this was just a discussion. I hope you take it not in an offensive way. I hope that. So see you in the next video, guys. And yes, as I told you, I am starting this N5 batch. So if you're planning to start learning Japanese, this is the time, because I'm teaching in just 5,000 rupees. Why would you even miss that? Okay, see you in the next video, and guys, take care. Corona. See ya.